Half a day to your Wami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, March 28, 2018. Over the past 24 hours, U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska leads a congressional delegation in the CNMI, visiting Tinian and Saipan, seeing the local economy firsthand. I had the opportunity to speak with Senator Murkowski and ask the question many in the CNMI are wondering. Take a listen. If passed by Congress, what do you think the chances are of President Donald Trump signing the NMI U.S. Workforce Act, considering his stance on immigration?
I think that we have worked very hard to find a product that is a compromise. I think we recognize that this is not everything that all would want, but that is what makes legislation. And so we are very close, I believe, to moving this legislation through the Senate with unanimous consent, with full support. That's very telling. I think that gives the president a very clear message that there is generous and broad support, and I do believe that he will sign it.
U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski believes President Trump will pass the NMI Workforce Act, as the fate of the CNMI's economy counts on this signature. And when asked if the U.S. Department of Labor's $14 million fine to companies subcontracted to build the casino will impact the passage, she has this to say.
I would defer to the congressman and the governor on that. My hope would be that it would not have any impact.
Senator Murkowski, chair of the U.S. Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources, introduced the legislation to Congress in January, explaining the process as a comprehensive and far-reaching effort.
This was an effort by many people who have been working cooperatively to find solutions. So the congressman has been working. I have been working on the Senate side as part of this task force. The governor flew back to testify before our committee in the Energy and Natural Resources Committee. When I think about the significance of the commitment from the people who came back to help advance this, whether it was the representatives from the Chamber of Commerce. I don't recall exactly how many came out, but it seemed to me that there were probably a dozen or so who made that long trip back to come and help educate other members of Congress.
And now she makes this same trip, traveling here to the CNMI, attending yesterday's wreath-laying ceremony at American Memorial Park's Court of Honors.
It has been a true honor to be immersed in this history. Here today on Saipan, this morning in Tinian, yesterday in Guam, tomorrow in Palau, to truly understand what the people of this region have given for freedom.
An honor to pay tribute, Senator says, and in addition tells us she personally felt compelled to assist in drafting the legislation, recognizing the need for an economy in this region.
There's a recognition that not only here on Saipan, but within the region, there are very real, very genuine issues with regards to a workforce. If you don't have a workforce, you don't have much of an economy. You can't attract investment, you can't attract tourism, you can't attract an economy, you can't build one without the workers.
Without the workers, and with the need for a path forward for the workforce being recognized by the legislation, she tells us.
We saw the challenges and recognized that the only way we're going to be able to address it was through legislation.
Prior to attending the wreath-laying ceremony here at American Memorial Park's Court of Honors, Senator Murkowski and her co-del went on a windshield tour of the island, and simply put, she says she loves it.
He has invited me, as the governor has invited me, as so many Alaskans who are here in Saipan have told me for years that I would love it. They were right. It is beautiful. And when I say it's beautiful physically, but it's also beautiful with the generosity of the people. There's a very friendliness, there's an openness, there is a genuine hospitality that is not forced. And I think this is a very real place, a real place in paradise.
Reporting for KSPN2, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Alongside Senator Murkowski are members of her congressional delegation visiting the island. KSPN speaks with her CODEL and Governor Ralph Torres to hear how impactful this visit is for the CNMI.
I believe that we should all be satisfied and happy that it's a bill that's moving forward with her leadership and her authoring the bill. It's important that we acknowledge that. And for her chair coming out here and seeing where we're at firsthand and having the experience, we can't have a better advocate and a voice in the Senate than we have in our senator.
A better advocate and voice in the Senate. Governor Ralph Torres shows his gratitude for Senator Murkowski stepping foot in the Marianas. This is Senator Murkowski's first time visiting the CNMI, following a tight schedule from island to island, leading her congressional delegation. Amongst the CODEL is Rear Admiral Shoshana Chetfield, commander of Joint Region Marianas. Chetfield is familiar with the islands and says she is greatly honored to be in the delegation.
I accompanied her delegation over here because we do have a training area on Tinian, and she was touring Tinian and asked for some explanations about the training area.
A tour of Tinian and also traveling to Saipan with Senator Murkowski. Admiral says this on the experience.
I'll tell you, it was really great because the senator remarked at every occasion how wonderful it was to be here. The welcome here was wonderful. Governor Torres, his administration, the legislature all turned out to welcome her, and she was fascinated. You know, she was born in a territory, the territory of Alaska, and so she had a lot of commonality with the people here.
The people here, who another member of the Murkowski CODEL is familiar with, Congressman Kilili Sablan.
Well, we flew from D.C. to Honolulu to Kwajalein and then to Guam and, Tinian, and came here.
And now here, Congressman Kilili Sablan speaks on the importance of this visit. So Senator Murkowski arrived here on island and was in Tinian prior to this. Can you tell us what this means, having her actually here?
It's always good for members to actually come here and see for themselves what's going on the ground.
On the ground, after working with Senator Murkowski for nearly 18 months, Congressman says this allows for more conversation on the NMI Workforce Act.
There's a lot of time, FaceTime involved, and that's time that's not normally available on a regular workday.
Congressman Kilili Sablan believes the legislation will move forward, as it is currently in the U.S. Senate. And prior to arriving on Saipan, Tinian Mayor Joey San Nicolas and fellow leaders greet Senator Murkowski and her CODEL first thing Tuesday morning in Tinian. Mayor San Nicolas says on behalf of the people of Tinian, thank you.
We once again thanked her for the introduction of that bill and for all of the efforts she's made to ensure that the Commonwealth has a chance to continue to grow.
To continue to grow if the NMI Workforce Act is passed and CW visas remain. Tinian's developments will have a chance to prosper, Tinian Mayor Joey San Nicolas says.
We're no different from Saipan in that should the CW program expire, it'll have a tremendous impact on our economy. We have aspirations of having more hotels built and even casinos, but without the continuation of the CW program, that will not happen.
During the visit, Senator Murkowski was given a tour of areas in despair. Mayor San Nicolas tells us these locations.
We also were very happy to talk to her about some of our requests for federal assistance, such as the funding of our breakwater, which is in total disrepair, and our harbors, not our San Jose Harbor. So we were able to go to the San Jose Harbor and show her the breakwater and really the state that it's in.
The proposed military plant site on the northern side of the island was a stop on the tour, as well as the closed Tinian Dynasty. here. What were some of the comments or concerns that she mentioned to you along her visit there on the island?
I think she was there more to listen to what our concerns were, and so we provided her with that input. And as I'm not sure about here in Saipan, but in Tinian, she really wanted to know how we were doing. We strolled through the street right by the dynasty, so she could see firsthand what really the state of our economy is, which is it's a shell. This is the building. This is the Dynasty Hotel that I was referring to in the comments, so she was able to see that. You know, we went to the San Jose Harbor, and this is the breakwater that we desperately need to be repaired.
And Mayor San Nicolas says he cannot thank Senator Murkowski enough for all her hard work and visit.
She's very much interested in learning how her bill, should it become law, will impact our island, and how the CW program, should it expire be terminated, will impact the residents. So again, nothing but thanks to the Honorable Senator Lisa Murkowski.